Live from Chicago, this is Fox 32 News at Noon.
And right now at noon, the Bears are now one step closer to moving across the state line, while Indiana has now emerged as possibly the front runner to host a new stadium. And we thank you for joining us this noon. Thank you for starting your afternoon on this Thursday with us. I'm Anthony Ponce.
And I'm Saquon. We start with the future of the Bears, the team now turning its attention to Hammond, Indiana as a spot for a new stadium.
We have team coverage for you this afternoon. Let's start with Paris Schutz joining us here in studio to break down the latest developments. They were pretty eager down there in Indianapolis.
Oh, they were. They're thrilled today, Anthony, and say the Bears today signaling their focus is indeed on Hammond, Indiana. But if we use the football analogies, the ball is still not in the end zone for either Indiana or Illinois. Today, as expected, the Indiana State House advanced legislation on a committee that sets the stage for a state sports authority to finance and own a new Bears stadium at Wolf Lake, right across the Chicago border in Hammond. Now, immediately, the Bears issued a statement saying, quote, "We appreciate the leadership shown by Governor Braun, Speaker Houston of the Indiana House, Senator Mishler of the Indiana Senate, and members of the Indiana General Assembly in establishing this critical framework and path forward to deliver a premier venue for all of Chicagoland and a destination for Bears fans and visitors from across the globe. We value our partnership and look forward to continuing to build our working relationship together." And Indiana's governor, Mike Braun, says, quote, "Indiana moves at the speed of business, and we've demonstrated through our quick coordination between state agencies, local government, and the legislature to set the stage for a huge win for all Hoosiers. We built a strong relationship with the Bears organization, and it'll serve as the foundation for partnership. We look to the construction of a world-class stadium and a win for taxpayers." And Indiana House Speaker Todd Houston said he would not move forward on this bill until he got confirmation that the Bears indeed were going to commit to Hammond, not just flirt, but commit. Today, apparently he liked what he heard.
This is a transformational investment into something we do better than any other state in the country. And if you talk to people in this industry, they will tell you we are the best state in the country for hosting people. Now we're giving ourselves in a different area of the state an incredible venue to do just that, with a phenomenal partner in the Chicago Bears.
And the reaction back here is one of befuddlement. Illinois lawmakers thought things were going in the right direction, and they're totally blindsided, they say today. A spokesperson for Governor Pritzker tweeted this: "After a productive 3-hour meeting yesterday, the Bears leaders requested the Illinois General Assembly pause a hearing that was supposed to happen today to make further tweaks to the Illinois bill. This morning," he says, "we were surprised to see a statement lauding Indiana and ignoring Illinois." And indeed, the sources I've spoke to in the State House in Illinois say they're all in shock right now. They shook hands yesterday thinking they were on track in Illinois, and then the Bears asked them to cancel the meeting today, so they say they're waiting to get more information from the team. But let's take a breath, all right? Nothing is across the goal line. The Indiana legislation still has to pass the full state house. There's about one more week left in the session in Indiana. So that means Illinois still has time to get that ball back and move it into the home or the visitor's end zone, let's say. But right now, the pressure is on, and these Illinois lawmakers trying to get in touch with the Bears to figure out what the next steps are going to be. So stay tuned. This is changing by the minute.
I like this football analogy we got going.
Yeah.
The Illinois lawmakers need like a goal line takeaway.
Red zone.
Red zone takeaway.
I appreciated that deep
Think
breath.
of the Green Bay game. They need an onside kick and then that throw to DJ Moore to win the game.
Special teams.
Special teams.
They need a special teams miracle right now, but it's like overtime and it's not done.
Oh my God.
It's not over yet.
Paris broke down all the politics behind this.
Right.
Cassie, from the team perspective here, how do we get to this point?
Yeah, I think it's a very big political story at this point. But I think from the team perspective, you know, Kevin Warren was hired, and when he was hired, he said that the focus was going to be on building a world-class dome stadium in Arlington Heights. That's where it began. Then suddenly they wanted to keep the Bears in Chicago on the lakefront at some lot around there. It went back to Arlington Heights, and then they welcomed in Indiana. And all of this is because the Bears are searching for tax certainty. It was 3 years ago this past Sunday where they purchased the 326-acre lot at Arlington Park. And it's just been all over the place. At one one point, Kevin Warren promised shovels in the ground in 2025. That date has obviously passed. He then said they were turning their sights towards Indiana. He said it wasn't a move of leverage. It was just going to be a business decision because the Bears are valued at $8.9 billion. That's a really high number, but the McCaskies don't have that in liquid assets right now. They are going to contribute $2 billion to whether it's Arlington Heights, whether it's Indiana and Hammond. They're going to contribute that to the construction costs, but they want to make sure once their stadium is built, they know how much they are going to be paying in taxes each and every year. So it's been a lot of back and forth right now, and I think Paris did a really good job explaining of where it's at. And I think there's a lot of confusion of, is this signaling that Indiana is where they're going to go, or is this another leverage play by Kevin Warren to try to get Illinois? There was, as he mentioned, a 3-hour meeting yesterday between the Bears and Illinois state legislators to talk about progress being made, and it just seems like it's a back and forth play. Yeah. So I think fans are kind of at the center of this right now. They don't know what to believe. Right. If they go to Hammond, Indiana, a lot of fans are going to be shocked that the Chicago Bears will no longer be in Illinois.
I'm getting texts from my friends saying Hammond Bears. Anthony, you know, I'm an Indiana grad, and everyone's like, what is going on
And
here?
it's really far from Lake Forest and Hallis Hall, their training facility, where that's not going to move because they recently renovated that. It's a world-class practice facility, widely considered one of the best in the NFL. And so I think it's a huge question mark right now. And I keep going back to George Hallis. This is the charter franchise of the NFL. They are built on legacy and history. And George Hallis always envisioned the Bears possibly playing in Arlington Heights one day. And so I think that's what we're all wondering, is how George McCaskey feels in all of this, if they do go to Indiana, because it takes them out of the state. They're no longer the pride and joy of Illinois. But I still think the focus is on building a world-class stadium, domed stadium, mixed-use development around it to host a Super Bowl, Final Four, concerts that the Bears can hopefully profit off of.
What would this mean for the player experience? Will it be a significant impact for these guys?
You know, most of the players, when they're asked about the stadium, if they are asked, they don't really have an opinion. You know, the NFL is so fluid in how players stay in teams for 1 or 2 years. I mean, we heard it after the season ended this year that this locker room will never be the same because of how the NFL works with rosters just shifting constantly. So a lot of these players wouldn't even be here by the time this opened, if I had to guess. And I know they targeted the date of 2031 to possibly host a Super Bowl one day. I think more so if you think in future of, we mentioned Lake Forest, Hallis Hall, the drive to get to Hammond, Indiana. It's 18 miles from where we're sitting right now. It takes me 2 hours to get home from Lake Forest during
bad traffic.
During bad traffic, rush hour in Bears season, when you're going at anywhere from 3 to 5:30. That's an extra hour that it's going to take players to get down to their team hotel or whatever, because they do drive their own cars to get there into the game. So just something to think about. Every hour counts to coaches and players in the season. So it would definitely be a different change of pace in terms of commute.
We shall see if this holds. Cassie, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, we are joined now by Mark Annis with Sports Core Sports Business Consulting Firm.
Yeah, Mark, if you're there, do you think this is kind of a done deal? What are we thinking here?
No, nothing is a done deal yet. The Bears would clearly, and the McCaskey family would clearly prefer to be in Arlington Heights, but there has to be a certainty associated with that deal. You know, before Cass was talking about $2 billion investment. I assure you, by the time they're done with the stadium, it'll be north of $3 billion. That's a lot of money to put forth. And the Bears need the two pieces of certainty that they've asked for from the state. One is property tax. The other is to have the infrastructure covered. And they say they'll cover all the rest. What has happened in Indiana, though, has got to be taken seriously. They are doing everything right. They're doing everything that a state, a community needs to do to lock down a deal like this. And unfortunately, we have more difficulty in Springfield getting things done than perhaps should be the case.
Yes. Let's talk about the statement, because it really feels, based on Paris's reporting and based on Cassie's reporting right there, that the statement this morning by the team and by everybody down in Indiana took the governor by surprise here. What do you make of the situation?
The Bears have got to keep the Indiana option moving forward. And their statement does that. Remember what the Speaker of the House said of Indiana. He wanted there to be a very positive statement from the Bears before he would put it forth. It went to the House Ways and Means Committee, and it passed unanimously. That is the kind of leadership that a project like this requires. And the Bears provided what Indiana needed. They can't let Indiana go because Illinois has not stepped up yet. I think it will. Honestly, I'm hearing the kinds of machinations that I hear when these deals are getting closer to getting done. But there's a big difference between movement to get it done and actually getting it done. And that's where you guys were using the football analogies. It's a big difference between being on the 1 yard line and being in the end zone. And Illinois is just not in the end zone yet.
I know one of the things we talked about was, how do the players feel about this? And there wasn't necessarily a set answer, because it sounds like a lot of the players would be gone by the time the stadium even opened up. Do the players even have much of a say at all in this?
None, and they shouldn't really have a say. They will benefit financially because the Bears will have substantially more revenue to be able to put on the field, to put into coaching staffs, to put into the training facilities whenever they get their new stadium built. And they're going to have control over the building so that they can make it operate in a way that is perfectly suited for the team and for the players. That being said, very few of the current players are going to be on the team by the time the stadium opens. So they really don't have a say, shouldn't have a say, but the next generation of Bears players will benefit from it.
Okay, let's talk about the location itself in Hammond by Wolf Lake here. In your mind, how feasible is this location for the team as a location, for the stadium itself, and also for the fans?
Well, it's actually has good of a location in a suburban place that you could find, because it's literally right over the Illinois border. It's in that little corner of Indiana that juts into Illinois. And so it's actually quite close. That being said, what Cassie was saying before, training facility in Lake Forest. I will also add that if you did a heat map of the season ticket holders, the Bears season ticket holders are more in the northern suburbs and the northwest suburbs. So it would be quite a move for them. But then you also have the opportunity of expanding your fan base to Indiana, northern Indiana, and the south part of Chicago. So for the Bear, and it's only 18 miles from downtown Chicago. So this is a very feasible site. Indiana is rolling out the red carpet, and they're doing it in a way that provides certainty that the Bears very much need on this project.
Okay, Mark, thank you so much for that insight. This is something that we'll have to continue watching for sure. Lots of back and forth. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, let's get a check of that forecast here with Mark Strel. How's it looking out there?
Well, not bad from that picture, but the clouds will continue to increase as we go throughout the day. Had a little light rainfall across the area earlier. High temperatures today, we're going to be pretty much where we are now. 40s along the lakeshore, 50s inland, with some warm 50s off to the south and to the southwest. There goes the rainfall that we saw earlier. Here comes the clouds. More rainfall coming your way later on as we go through the evening and the overnight. In fact, we have the chance of some stronger showers and thunderstorms. We're in a level 1 category here of severe weather. Level 2, well south of Kankakee. Expect some gusty showers and thunderstorms, some higher winds, primarily after 3, 4, 5 o'clock at night, all the way through about 9 o'clock this evening. We'll tell you more about what you can expect and about the rest of the week's forecast coming up.
Okay, we will see you very shortly then. Mark, thank you, sir. It's 12:13. We got much more to get to here on the news at noon, so stay with us. We'll be right back.
And I approve this message.
All right, welcome back. Reward money in the search for Nancy Guthrie is now over $200,000 after a donation made by an anonymous donor, but there is still no sign of the 84-year-old or a potential suspect.
Oliviana Calmes is live in Tucson, Arizona. Oliviana, it seems like investigators are now turning to new DNA strategy that could help them identify who took Nancy. What do we know?
Yeah, Anthony, I think right now you're trying to figure out all the different avenues that you can go in following these leads. Of course, that reward going up is awesome for getting more tips. But as far as the DNA, there weren't any matches in the National FBI database for the DNA that they found both in that glove we found 2 miles away from the house and DNA found in the house. So now the question is, what kind of advanced technology and testing can we use to lead to a suspect? Investigators are working with DNA from the scene, and like I said, that glove found a couple miles away, but they found no matches in the FBI's CODIS system, which compares a smaller number of DNA markers to more than 19 million known offender profiles. But we talked to a CEO of a private lab that helped identify suspects in the Idaho student murders and other high-profile cases. He tells us their genetic genealogy technology can analyze more DNA markers to build a profile of a suspect.
Kind of testing that we do at Othram looks at the entire DNA. There's probably at least 500,000 markers that we're looking at instead of 20 markers. And we can learn a lot of things. Of course, one thing we can do is search for distant relatives and use forensic genetic genealogy to figure out who someone is or who their nearest living relative is. But there's a lot of other things we can learn.
He says that process can work within days if they find matches. Meanwhile, investigators are still searching for, we know this video, we've seen it many times, this person seen on this doorbell camera appears to be a man wearing a ski mask, gloves, who police say is about 5'9" or 5'10" with an average build. And they're trying to find the suspect also by figuring out where he bought that backpack that we know is also sold at Walmart, in addition to the gun holster that we saw as well. Now, we did also receive get word of another ransom message yesterday that was sent to TMZ. Again, we don't know if these are legitimate, but it was asking again for a large sum of money in cryptocurrency. As we move forward in this, there's still about 400 people on the ground working to find Nancy Guthrie. I'll send it back to you guys.
Okay, Oliviana, thank you for that update from Arizona. Appreciate it. 12:18 back here in Chicago, and some international news to get to right now. The former Prince Andrew was arrested this morning in Britain. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor is accused, and he's been arrested on suspicion of misconduct while in public office. Stephanie Bennett has more now from London.
Police searching the home of former Prince Andrew Thursday, now under arrest over his ties to sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, charged with suspicion of misconduct in public office.
This is the most spectacular fall from grace for a member of the royal family in modern times.
Earlier this month, authorities said they were investigating claims that Andrew shared confidential government documents with Epstein while serving as UK trade envoy back in 2010. King Charles, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor's older brother, saying in a statement, quote, "What now follows is the full, fair and proper process by which this issue is investigated in the appropriate manner and by the appropriate authorities. In this, as I have said before, they have our full and wholehearted support and cooperation." Andrew and the royal family have long been plagued by his alleged dealings with Epstein. He was also accused of sexual misconduct by Virginia Roberts Guthrie, whose family released a statement saying, quote, "Our broken hearts have been lifted at the news that no one is above the law, not even royalty." Andrew was stripped of his royal titles last year, but continues to deny any wrongdoing. Today also marks his 66th birthday. The charge of misconduct in public office carries a potential maximum sentence of life in prison. In London, Stephanie Bennett, Fox, Chicago.
All right, let's give you a live look outside right now. Looks like there's some people out there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, Mark, I was remarking at how clean the bean looks right now because our cars are filthy.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's people that go out there, little minions at night that go out there and kind of clean it off every night. It's definitely looking pretty shiny today, which indicates there's still some sunshine around here at the moment. but we're going to see less shininess as it goes by. And Anthony, I'll be over to clean your car later on today, by the way.
So much.
Yeah. Here's what we're looking at as we go towards the afternoon. Not only the clouds coming our direction, but we're also going to see some rainfall moving in, some showers and thunderstorms. In fact, chance for some stronger showers and thunderstorms. We are in a 1 risk here across much of Chicago. The level 2 risk goes well south of Kankakee County. And once you get down to central Illinois, we're in a level 3 risk where there could be some tornadic activity with some shearing in the atmosphere. Again, mostly down towards Effingham, down towards southeastern, south central Illinois. Right now, a lot of cloud cover around, but still some patches of blue skies around. Still a pretty decent day today. And still, the temperature's looking halfway decent. Look at this, 58 degrees at O'Hare, 57 degrees at Midway. With lake temperatures in the mid and upper 30s, we're still holding on to 50 at the lakeshore, even 48 degrees in Waukegan. And go inland, those temperatures are all in the 50s. So actually a halfway decent day, especially compared to what's coming overnight tonight with some showers and thunderstorms during the later evening hours and a shot of some snowfall very late overnight tonight. Winds fairly light, with the exception being down towards the bottom end of the lake where we're seeing some 36-mile-per-hour wind gusts. We're looking down towards the south here at the moment, and you can see, again, the clouds beginning to billow in here, mixed with a few patches of daylight and some sunshine around. But we are looking at February 27th through the 5th of March. The trend towards above average temperatures will continue. That's got to put a smile on your face, at least if you're waiting for spring.
We're ready for it, Mark. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Just ahead here, countdown to the moon. NASA gearing up for a crucial test later tonight.
Indeed, we will have a live report on the Artemis 2 moon mission coming up.
Fox 32, Chicago.
Welcome back. Countdown is on as NASA gears up for another practice run for its Artemis 2 moon mission, which aims to take astronauts all the way around the moon for the first time in half a century.
Yeah, Amy Gallo joins us live from Cape Canaveral. Amy, what exactly can we expect tonight?
Yeah, NASA calls this a wet dress rehearsal, and the best way to think of it is as a full-blown practice countdown. They'll fuel the rocket and do just about everything they would do for a launch, except for actually starting the ignition. Now, this is the second test run for Artemis 2 in weeks. NASA engineers stopped the clock at T-minus 5 minutes during a test earlier this month due to a liquid hydrogen leak, and that's the exact kind of kink these rehearsals aim to work out, all to make sure the rocket and crew are ready for the first manned flight around the moon in over 50 years. The simulated launch is scheduled for 8:30 p.m. Eastern with a 4-hour window for the test. I caught up with Jose Hernandez, a former NASA astronaut and engineer. He calls these test runs critical and says he's optimistic about this one.
In the first dress rehearsal, the interface of the liquid hydrogen to the tanks, there was a leak. And that's not new because Artemis 1 had the same issue. And a lot has to do with the seals or the temperature. Right now, they've replaced the seals. The temperature is warmer than what it was on the first wet dress rehearsal. So we expect it to pass with flying colors.
NASA is currently eyeing March as the potential time frame for the real launch of Artemis 2, but they will not announce an actual date until they have a successful rehearsal. That's why today's rehearsal is so important. Anthony, say?
Yeah, a big day for sure. All right, Amy Gallo for us. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Well, we got a lot more coming up here on Fox Chicago at noon. Stay right here. We'll be right back after this short break.
Pack is responsible for the content of this ad.
All right, welcome back, everybody. I hope you're having a great Thursday afternoon. Here's a look at some of the top stories we are following for you.
Yeah, the Bears today signaling their focus to Hammond, Indiana for a new site. This has been kind of the buzz of town right now, but the ball still not in the end zone for either Indiana or Illinois just yet. The Indiana State House advanced legislation out of committee that sets the stage for a state sports authority to finance and own a new Bears stadium at Wolf Lake in Hammond. We'll have much more on this coming up on the news at 4.
Illinois State Police, they are investigating a single rollover crash. This left 2 people dead. It hurt 3 others. Happened on the Bishop Ford right at 111th Street just after 1 o'clock this morning. At one point, traffic had to be diverted. All lanes have since opened back up. We are still working to learn the details about what led to this, including the names of the victims and obviously what led to the crash itself. All right, it is 12:31 as we take a live look over Adler Planetarium. Mark, that view's pretty good. I was expecting it to be darker outside today.
You know, if you were to spin the camera around about 30 degrees to the right, it looks a lot darker.
Yeah, you can see that.
You know, it's kind of like, anything else. You know, you just pick your view and go with it, right? You know, whatever makes you happy. So today we're looking at a little sunshine there as we're looking off to the south and to the southeast. But again, we've got some storm clouds on the horizon. In fact, the possibility of some severe weather around today as well. Temperatures today making up into the 50s, pretty close to where we are right now. Even the lakeshore in the 40s today. Here come those clouds streaming in. Our view on that camera was looking here over the lake where there was a little bit of sunshine right there. But if you look back this way, it is all dark with some showers and thunderstorms starting to brew up around the St. Louis area. Level 1, severe weather possibility here across northern Illinois. Mostly some gusty winds, some brief hail, and some heavy downpours and lightning. Get south of Kankakee, those storm threats get a little bit larger. Level 2 there. And as you approach south of Champaign, start to see that level kick up to about a level 3. Well, not about, into a level 3. And that's where there's a greater risk of even some tornadoes later on today because of some shearing in the atmosphere. Well, temperatures right now, 50 at the lakeshore, 57 degrees at Midway, 58 degrees at O'Hare. And you can see 50s virtually everywhere. Winds fairly light. Couple of exceptions, though. Look at Gary, 36-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Northwest Indiana, a little blustery there with winds in the 20s. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Look off just to the right from that previous shot. Look how gloomy and dark that is. And it will continue to darken up as we go through the rest of the afternoon into the evening. Good news is, if you're looking for bright lining, here it is, February 27th through the first week of March. We're looking for the trend to carry us with above normal temperatures. And I guess why that's important is you start getting into March and it was very difficult to get those sub-zero temperatures around northern Illinois. Our window for brutal winter weather, at least the cold stuff, is starting to close. That doesn't mean we're not going to be cold again, and it doesn't mean we're not going to see snow. It just means the runway is shortening up, as it were. All right, the rest of the week into the weekend, we're talking about temperatures dipping back down into more February conditions. We're looking at temperatures into the 30s for daytime highs, and then we're starting to pull back up as we go into next week, towards the end of next week and towards next weekend. Back more 40s and 50s will be common. Not quite as many 60s as we've seen. All right, cloud cover coming in. There's the rainfall that we'll see later on today. And then by late tonight into the early morning hours, this wraparound snowfall gets in here. Yes, I did mention snow. Could be some light, slushy snow, especially in some of the grassy surfaces. I'll tell you more about that in a moment.
All right, sounds good, Mark. Thank you so much. The owner of a Hinsdale spa is due back in court tomorrow morning after police say he secretly recorded customers during treatments.
Casey Cronus has been following this story since last month. She joins us now with the latest on this case. Casey.
Hi, Anthony and Say. The Hinsdale spa owner was supposed to be in court yesterday for an arraignment, but his attorney did not show up, so it was moved to tomorrow. 51-year-old Jason Wade Spencer was charged last month with 5 felony counts of unauthorized videotaping. But we've uncovered a grand jury indictment from earlier this week, which reveals he is now facing 64 counts of recording customers using a hidden camera. Located near First and Washington on the second floor of a commercial space. Police say they got the report of a possible hidden camera at the business in December of 2024. Officers then found hidden cameras in treatment rooms, along with a recording device and a hard drive. Police Chief Brian King says detectives spent months combing through video and interviewing hundreds of customers. He previously shared that the victims had no idea they were being filmed. Now, the spa has been shut down since the end of December However, the owner did appeal that decision. That process is still in the works. We've reached out to Jason Wade Spencer's business attorney and criminal attorney for comment on this case and these charges, but have not yet heard back. Spencer due in court in Wheaton at 9:30 tomorrow morning. Live in Hinsdale, Casey Cronus, Fox Chicago.
Thank you, Casey. Appreciate it. We have much more coming up here on Fox Chicago at noon. Don't go anywhere. Stay right here. We'll be right back after this short break.
#1 vet recommended fresh dog food.
Welcome back. Some breaking news to get to right now. Police are investigating a home invasion out in Arlington Heights. Sky Fox was over the scene right near North Chestnut Avenue around 7 this morning. Police say an armed man entered a home while 2 people were inside. The homeowners locked themselves inside a room and called 911. At this point, we are hearing that no one was hurt. We will continue to bring you more information as it comes into the newsroom.
Yeah, a bitter battle seems to be brewing over candy. The grandson of the Reese's peanut butter cup inventor slammed the Hershey Corporation, accusing the candy giant of shifting to use cheaper ingredients in Reese's peanut butter cups and hurting the candy's brand. Hershey and Reese's merged in the 1960s. Hershey does acknowledge that they have made some changes, but says it's because of increasing demands for innovation from consumers.
All right, let's take a live look at the New York Stock Exchange right now. The Dow trading at just over 49,200. And on that note, it's time to take a look at the rest of our business headlines this afternoon with CJ Papa.
Shoppers are heading to Walmart for groceries. The retail giant's new CEO, John Furner, wrapped up a strong holiday quarter with sales up 4.6%. Walmart also made money from advertising in the period. However, general merchandise sales slowed, and Walmart says consumers continue to spend cautiously, especially on non-grocery items. Deere's profit declined in recent months. The maker of heavy machinery and agricultural equipment says it was dragged down by tariffs and weak tractor demand. However, Chief Executive John May says he's seeing signs of recovery in construction and agriculture. Nestle is selling its ice cream business to Frenary joint venture. Its brands include Haagen-Dazs, Dreyer's, and Nestle. The company will also sell its Perrier and San Pellegrino water brands by the end of the year. Nestle wants to focus on coffee, pet care, nutrition, and food. Meanwhile, San Pellegrino launching 2 new flavors, strawberry crema and cherry sorbetto. The brand says the new lineup is low-calorie with a boost of vitamin B6 and magnesium for a modern twist on Italian soda. The new drinks are on Amazon and rolling out at retailers now. Salute! CJ Papa, Fox Chicago.
Time Hoops.
Welcome back. There's a new rage room in Chicago Heights that's giving people a safe space to blow off some steam and relieve some stress.
Yeah, not talking about our newsroom.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, not at all.
Right? This place could come in handy, and Jake Hamilton went there to check it out.
That's right, guys. Some days you're just feeling like you gotta just let it out, right? You know, you don't want to keep things bottled in. You want to express your feelings, but sometimes your feelings need to be expressed in maybe just a little bit of a way, just to kind of bring something. It's a little cheaper therapy, and you can just get a good swing and really get everything out. And that's exactly what we're doing out here in Chicago Heights. It is Breaking Point Rage Room. Come on out of here. We're going to go talk with the woman behind it. This is Melody, managing partner. Melody, come on over. You know, you and I have been hanging out all morning long, and what I love is, and I'm going to put this word out there, positivity. Because you say it's called the Rage Room, but it's not about aggression. It's not about negativity. It's about expressing how you're feeling in a positive way.
Yeah.
Explain that.
It's kind of like letting it out.
Yes.
So most times when people come here, they have experienced some things in life.
Everybody's got a thing.
But when they leave here, they leave out feeling lighter. They leave out leaving everything that was bottled up here behind. And there's also people who come and break stuff just because it's fun.
It is fun. And you know what? That's what I was telling you. I've never done this before up until today. And whenever I came out here a while back and I took that first swing, the first thing I did was smile. Yeah. Because it's just this physical feeling. And I was a little surprised. Were you surprised the first time you took a swing?
Yeah, because it actually just made me feel better. It didn't make me feel anxious. When I first broke something, it made me just feel better.
Yeah.
So I just enjoy coming out and session and have fun.
I was watching birthday parties, bachelorette parties,
birthday parties,
breakup parties.
Yes, divorce parties. We have everything you can think of. And we also have a stage so you can do karaoke.
I love it. Karaoke, you got a game room. Yeah. Melody, we're running out of time. How can people come out and find you guys?
Well, we're now located in Chicago Heights, Illinois, but you can also book on www.breakingpointrageroom.com. And I did want to bring in my partner.
Yes,
he helped me put all this together.
You did an amazing job. We've been hanging out all morning long. You guys are crushing it. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys. It is Breaking Point Rage Room as we get ready to toss the break. It's a great place. Just let out however it is you're feeling. So on that note, we're going to toss the break and we will be right back.
No.
Welcome back. The search for Nancy Guthrie now enters its third week, and investigators are looking for any clues that may help bring her home.
Yeah, police have said ransom notes asking for Bitcoin may lead to some more clues here. Anita Blanton kicks off our Chicago Live interviews from Studio 32 on the topic of Bitcoin wallets. Hey, Anita.
Hi to you both. You know, this is a case that's really gripped the nation for some time now, and in many aspects have been so troubling for us and puzzling, really, especially once this element of cryptocurrency cryptocurrency got introduced to the entire situation. And in at least one of these Bitcoin accounts, there has been some movement since all of it first began. So we're going to go ahead and bring in Bezalel Eitan Raviv. He is the CEO and founder of Lionsgate Network, which is a cryptocurrency recovery firm. And I want to ask you right off the top here, how do we even know that there was activity in one of these accounts? Because many people think they're untraceable.
That's exactly the myth that we try to convey for many, many years now with victims of financial fraud in the United States and with law enforcement agencies. Crypto is, in fact, registered on a public ledger. So it is exactly the traceable, the perfect element, the perfect asset to trace. So if you embezzled someone, stole from someone in crypto, or request ransom in crypto, this is actually goes to show that you don't understand how crypto works, and incredibly so, to present that you are not in the understanding that it can be traced, and moreover, it can be recovered.
Well, I'm glad that we have you to help us understand it a little bit better. Even if this is a breadcrumb, if you will, what types of information could investigators get from this?
So dependent on the investigators, at Lionsgate Network, we are able to pinpoint the location of the person who has the wallet, because the wallet, you need to access the internet in order to look at your crypto account. Whether it's a cold wallet or a hot wallet, it doesn't matter. You need the internet. And as soon as you register into your crypto wallet, we are able to also say where you are currently located. So it's an incredible asset that unfortunately, from our perspective, was not investigated enough in this specific case.
Oh, very interesting stuff here. And we've heard of large sums of money being demanded in years past if there was a ransom situation, either by cash or, let's say, a wire transfer or something of that nature. But help us to better understand what's being demanded here in terms of crypto.
So basically, they demand that the money, the value of money, will be sent in cryptocurrency, which is a code, right? Is to send a code from one entry point to an exit point that sits on blockchain network. They've requested funds based on public information that we cannot verify. We can't even verify that the ransom request was from the actual people that kidnapped the person. So there's a lot of mysticism, which is counterintuitive to everything in blockchain analytics. One thing we want to be very clear about, if we had the option to receive the wallet, because that wallet is in a vault with law enforcement and with TMZ, then we would be able to scrape and mine a lot of information from that wallet, as we have suggested, to send a small fraction transaction to be able to see what happens with that money. Again, there's different investigators, different skills. Blockchain is a fairly new technology that we've been immersed in for the past few years. There is a lot of intel that can be presented to law enforcement through the skills of Lionsgate Network. There's a lot that we can do, but of course, the request needs to come from law enforcement themselves.
Well, Bezalel, it sounds like they should be making a phone call to you very soon. Thank you so much for at least helping us to wrap our brains around it a little bit better. Really appreciate your time.
We are waiting.
Okay, all right, and keep us updated if you do get that phone call. Now, of course, the search for Nancy Guthrie is just one of the major stories that we have continued to follow and honestly will continue to stay on top of until there's some type of resolution there. But today we're also going to lighten things up a bit, and we're going to talk about the Summerfest lineup that was just released. Yes, better days are on the way. We also expect a press conference to take place during our time for Chicago Live with the mayor of Hammond, who's probably going to stick his chest out just a little bit more today. He's got to be beaming with pride here with these increasing possibilities of the Bears crossing the state line, moving there. I'm also going to be talking to the Naperville Fire Department Division Chief about adding a new emergency medical advice or device that will be added to their toolbox and really should help to save lives. Of course, we know seconds matter when they are mobilized, and I'm going to be speaking with an attorney about the reinstated $20 million class action lawsuit against the city of Chicago. This is for allegedly illegally issuing tens of thousands of dollars of traffic tickets in its administrative court. So lots of conversations to be had coming up on Chicago Live from 1 to 4 p.m. today. Everybody online, join us on YouTube, Fox Local, on fox32chicago.com. I'll see you starting at 1 o'clock online. But Saquon and Anthony Ponce will be right back after this break.
Your MMA promotion brings you Chicago's top professional prospects and the next wave of rising amateur stars, all in one explosive night. Oh! Be there for the action. Be there for the energy. Be there for EFN 29 Havoc at the Hard Rock. This event will sell out. Get your tickets now before they're gone. Elite Fight Night, where Chicago fights.
Real fans know there's only one place for coast-to-coast soccer cups.
The wait, it is over.
Football HQ.
Friday nights at 10 on Fox 32 Chicago.
Welcome back. When it comes to vacationing, travelers are prioritizing catching some Z's. The Wall Street Journal reports there's been a rise in Gen Zers and millennials taking trips called sleepcations. Okay, that's when people choose to spend most of their time sleeping instead of exploring during their trip. Some hotels and resorts are offering vacationers special sleep packages with snooze-enhancing products like weighted blankets and eye masks. That is what I'm talking about.
Sounds like heaven to me, Mark Strell.
You know,
I'd be fine with that.
I love the sleep, but couldn't you just do that at home? Have a sleep staycation?
That's a good point.
No.
Not when you have two rambunctious kids running around.
And when you have like the fluffy sheets and everything.
Another one. Yeah, that's true.
You know?
I say send the kids to camp and stay home and catch your Z's, right? All right, here's what's going on. You might not be catching some Z's tonight. You may hear the rumble of thunder, some showers and thunderstorms, stronger showers and thunderstorms, central Illinois, but we still have a threat of some strong showers and thunderstorms. Emily will keep you posted as we go through